Morning guys, Kieran here, back with another video, this time for day 4 of Royal Ascot. Hopefully by the time you watch this video you've all had a good couple of days and we've had a fair few winners, and we're all looking for more winners on day 4. And day 4 starts with the Albany Stakes, which for the 2-year-olds, and the favourite here is Vitana's Son for Carl Burke and Tony Bloom. Obviously a very big purchase first at the Breeze Up sales. Won really nicely up at Carlisle first time out, doing all his best work at the finish. That was over 5 furlongs, this obviously over 6. So the step up in trip is sure to suit, and currently, as I was looking, this is just before declaration. He's currently 5-1 favourite. Not sure what price he'll be once declarations have come through fully. But the second from that race at Carlisle, Argentine Tango, who I like a lot. I think he's a very, very stable horse who's done very, very well. So it's a decent standard. Won the Hillary Niebler up at Beverley next time out, which is a listed event. So the form is strong for Vitana's Son, and I think the further he goes, the better he'll look. And he will live up to the price tag, so he will do for me in the Albany. The other ones I like to mention, obviously Fitzella of Hugo Palmer's won very nicely over at Haydock as well. He could possibly pull it up to him as well as Green Scene and Sidada. I think I'll pronounce that correct. Sigada, who finished second and third behind Lady Anam, who's probably a decent horse, a very, very good horse. We probably would have got a favourite for this race had she been here, but she's not. So those two could probably have strong claims as well, but Vitana's Son will be my selection. Then we move on to the Commonwealth Cup over 7 furlongs. This race obviously not long been introduced to the Ascot card, but it's a very, very good race and had some decent winners down the year. And Shadow of Light comes here for Godolphin rather than going for the St James's Palace. Comes here instead over 7 furlongs after finishing third in the Guineas behind Ruling Court and Field of Gold. Currently best price 7 of 4, but I just think he's got the strongest form in the book. Like we saw the way Field of Gold won again yesterday in the St James's Palace. I think Shadow of Light will go very well against these. Obviously won the Dewhurst last year as well as a 2-year-old. I think 7 furlongs will be the making of him. He looked the winner in the Guineas with a furlong to go. And obviously then the other two came past him. So I like to think back to 7 furlongs in the Commonwealth Cup. You should see him go very, very close. And he will be my selection for the race. Obviously we got the 2 Jugmont horses in here. For Jugmont we got Babouche and Jacquiel. They've both done nothing wrong in this season, but I just don't think they are up to the level of Shadow of Light. Obviously, Jacquiel was down to run potentially over a mile. She drops back into this race. And then Ada O'Brien has also got Whistle Jacket and Idas Marsh, who was slightly disappointing last time up at Newbury when well fancied. But it will be Shadow of Light for me. I just think he's a really, really decent animal, and that Guinness form looks extremely strong now with Field of Gold going to win very impressively in the St James's Palace. And we move on to the Duke of Edinburgh Stakes over 1 mile 4, where Ethical Diamond is in here favourite, currently at 5-1 for Willie Mullins. 4th in the race last year, obviously better known for her exploits. Over the hurdles. Well, obviously she was a decent run in the county hurdle last time when being last seen. But the horse I like in here is Hand of God, who won the Golden Gate in this meeting last year, and the extra 2 furlongs should not be a problem. She definitely was not stopping in the Golden Gate, and I think the further she goes, the better she'll be. And I think she's one of my better bets of the day. That's Hand of God. Then on to the Coronation Stakes, where Zagada, the 15-8, the controversial, well, some people say controversial winner of the 1,000 guineas over in Frat, where she's perfect in the steward's room. Obviously, we're not going to go into any more discussion about that right now. She is 15-8 favourite for the Graffard team. Mikael Barcelona will come over for the ride. But the horse I like in here is Falakea for Owen Burrows and Jim Crowley, the Shadwell team. Couldn't have been more impressed by the way she won the Pretty Polly on second start. Completely, she looks so green and so raw, it was unreal. But the further she went, the better she looks, and I think she is going to come on absolutely tons for that run. And the fact that they've thrown her in here rather than going for the Prix Diane over the weekend thinks to me that they think they've got a very, very top class horse, and the Coronation Stakes is going to be where they go and send her. And I think she will take a lot of beating here. I know the French horse is decent. Obviously, there's no question about that. But the amount of improvement that we could see from this filly is going to be unreal, I believe. And she will take the beating for me. Then on to the Sandringham Stakes. Again, another absolutely minefield of a race, where we have Supermodel in here as favourite currently for William Haggis and Tom Marquand, who won at Nottingham at the start of the season. Not done a lot since. But the horse I'm going to back is Rafe Bettit to Beatty, who was last seen, hasn't run this season, was last seen finishing 5th in the Fillies Mile at Newmarket behind Desert Flower. Obviously, Desert Flower has come out and won the 1,000 guineas over here since. So that form looks strong, and I know it's coming here on seasonal reappearance, but she won her first 2 starts before being sent into the Fillies Mile, and I think that's strong form, that Fillies Mile. I think she could go very, very close here, and she's currently best priced 10-1, and it will be an each way play for me in the race. Then the King Edward VII Stakes for those staying type horse of a 1 mile 4, and Amalok is favourite for Rafe Beckett, and Ross O'Ryan will take the ride. Needed every yard when he won at Goodwood, fell out the stalls, was very, very lazy at the back of the field, took Rosser a lot of work to get him there, but eventually the further and further he went, the more and more he clicked, and he eventually got the job done at Goodwood. But I'm going to be taking him on with a horse I've been very impressed with in Ireland this season, and that's Zaran of Johnny Murters. Ben Cohen will take the ride. Second over a mile, first time up at Leopardstown, and finishing like an absolute train on the outside, just didn't get there. Then went to Cork and won was at very short odds, because the one he was meant to take on came out late on, won at 1-3 I think, but did everything again. The further he went, the better he looked, and then that was stepped up to 1 mile 2. And then again, next time out at Leopardstown, won very, very nicely again, up at 1 mile 4. I think the step up to the 1 mile 4 is made the making of it. I think it'll be more, he's in a bigger field, more competitive race. I think there'll be even more improvement to come out of this horse, and he will be my selection in the King Edward VII. And then last race on the card to discuss is the Palace of Hollywood Bow. Hollywood Born Stakes, where Regional is favourite for this 5 furlong sprint at 6-1 for William Haggis and James Doyle and the Wafnan team. Last seen finishing over 6 furlongs up at Salisbury, dropping back down to 5 furlongs. But the horse I like in here is Red Orange of Clive Cox's, and Ross O'Ryan will take the ride. I saw a thing in the Racing Post that Clive Cox said that this is going to be one of his stable stars for the season, and a horse to follow for the season. He started out at Sandown, where he's third at Sandown, where he just got beaten by horses that had already had the run that season, and he just looked like he tired at the finish. But he made no mistakes at Chester next time out. He got out, he hit the front and hit the line very well, and won at Chester really, really nice. And I think he'll take a lot of beating here. He'll take another step forward in this race at Ascot, and I think he will take all the beating. Currently best price 10-1, and that will do for me. Probably best bets on the video, I'd like to say, is probably Shadow of Light and Zahar, and I've probably got the Shadow of Light for Carla in the Coronation Stakes. I think she is going to be a very, very impressive winner, and we're going to see a decent animal there. And Zahana in the King Edward VII. I think there's plenty more to come from him as well. Thanks again for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're enjoying all the content that I'm putting out there. Hopefully we can find plenty of winners off the back of this video. If you'd like to drop in the comments what your nap of day 4 is, and let me know. And please like and subscribe to the channel. It will help me a lot. And we will go from there. But thanks again for listening, guys, and happy punting.